So when does a seat mean more than just a place to sit down and relax? Hey everybody, it's Ed the Trainer, and we'll take a closer look at that on this week's Tips on Tuesday. So many of you on the channel may be very, very aware of the recent passing of Pittsburgh Steelers owner Dan Rooney. The Rooney family, his father as well, have long been a part of the NFL and frankly, a lot of what's good about the NFL that we're all familiar with today. And over the last few weeks of watching the coverage and catching some of the stories of former players and coaches, etc., that have run into Mr. Rooney, a handful of them really caught my attention. One in particular was a story of backup quarterback Charlie Batch, who had just come to the team and was on his way on a charter flight, on his way to the back of the plane to use the restroom, when he noticed that the owner of the team was sitting all the way in the back of the plane in the very last row in the seats that don't recline. The leg room isn't really all that appreciable. And he said, "Mr. Rooney, why don't you come up and take my seat further up the plane so that you can be a little bit more comfortable?" And Mr. Rooney's response was to tell Charlie Batch, who was one of a few backup quarterbacks on the team, that it wasn't as important for him, the owner of the team, to be as comfortable as the players on the way to the game, because after all, Mr. Rooney didn't have to play on Sunday, and it really wasn't that important for him to be ready to go. And Charlie Batch was struck, and he tells that story often, as do many of the players and former coaches and people who've been involved with the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, in the way that the Rooney family overall treated people. Every person. In other words, they treated people regardless of their position, regardless of their place within the organization, with enormous amounts of respect. In the story that was told by Charlie Batch, you see exemplified in that one little situation the golden rule, in that you had the owner of a team treating someone who frankly worked for him, right, the same way that he would like to be treated. And in fact, he raised up his employees to give them every opportunity to do their jobs well. This week, let's think about the people with whom we encounter. What are we doing in order to raise them up? How are we going about our way to show them the same respect that we would appreciate in return? It's the golden rule, and it never goes away. Thanks for spending a couple of minutes with me this morning, everybody. I really, really appreciate your time. I hope that you have a great week, and I'll see you soon.